What it is, focus your homeboy first. And I apologize. I want to apologize because it's been a while since I've talked to y'all about some real shit. I've been so preoccupied uh, with getting my sports show out to the real ones who are down with my show, put it on something. But I couldn't let Suicide Prevention Month pass without saying something about the matter. Okay. So today I want to share with y'all five things, five things that a suicidal person might want you to know. Now, let's get some of your questions out of the way that you may have. You may wonder, well, how do you know what a suicidal person might think? Well, if you knew, uh, then you may have missed my video in which, well, numerous videos in which I've shared that I was suicidal. I've been there. Okay. I've been there. Uh, it was an ongoing thing, but like 2007 was the height of it. That was the closest I've ever gotten to it. Okay. Just was dealing with so much at the time. Racism was the chief thing that made me lose hope because I felt like I can't change that. I can't change who I am. Therefore, how can I beat that? But also, uh, at the time, I was facing a case in which initially I was charged with felony assault on a police officer. When in truth, I just defended myself against police violence. But y'all know how that go. Young black man in Mississippi, white cop. So I was facing that. Uh, they reduced the charge to a misdemeanor, and I should have been found not guilty. But again, y'all know how that go. But other than that, dealing with racism, dealing with that case, my grandmother's health, was really starting to deteriorate in terms of her Alzheimer's. Now she still didn't pass away until 2011, but it was just tough. My mama was starting to slow down somewhat. Uh, my wife, then girlfriend, had left me. I think my biological father was having some stuff. He wasn't in my life, but just the thought of the person whose DNA you share starting to deal with some health issues. Like it was a lot of shit going on. Okay, a lot of shit going on. And those, I didn't lose that urge really until I had my son. My son. So having my children really saved my life and gave me something to live for. So I know I've been there. So that's why I feel like I may know what a suicidal person might want you to know. Now, I use the word might because all of us are not the same. But from my own experience, from dealing with many, many, many people in my life who've been suicidal, whether it be during my years as a teacher and coach, whether it be in my personal life with family members, or whether it be now in my life as a business person who, in this entertainment business, I reach around the world with stuff. So I have a hit song called "Only God Knows" that I marketed globally, and the reaction to it was overwhelming. And a lot of people were saying the same stuff. Like they felt what I was going through, and they were sharing stuff in the comment sections and stuff over there. I do my music marketing primarily on Facebook, so they were just sharing the stories, man. They hitting up in the DM or over on Facebook called Messenger or whatever. So again, it's not, these 5 things won't cover everybody, but I feel like a lot of people feel this way. All right. So I'm gonna start with the first one. The first thing that a suicidal person may want you to know is that we do not want to die. We do not want to die. We want to stop hurting. We do not want to die. We want to stop hurting, whether that be physical pain or mental pain. We want to stop hurting. We want to feel better. And I know you may think, well, won't death hurt? To us, in our mind, death is inevitable anyway. I mean, everybody knows that. So we're thinking if that's going to happen anyway, uh, that pain would be momentary and then it's over. But the pain that we're in on a daily basis, every single day, dealing with whatever the trauma is, we see that as ongoing rather than temporary. So to us, it's almost logical to say, I want to end this. Okay. And I really want y'all to get that. I really want y'all to get that, because one of the things that happens is if you don't understand our pain and understand why we might have those thoughts, and then you like call us crazy or something that got into you, the devil got into you, you need to go to church. See, we're gonna check out on you. We're gonna end up checking out on you because we see that you're not trying to empathize with us, not sympathize. Not that you feel sorry. You're not trying to empathize with us and really feel what we're going through. Okay. So understand that we don't want to die. We just want to stop hurting. So if you can be a friend or a loved one that can help us stop hurting, you'll see that we don't want to die. We really want to live. You feel me? So that's the first thing to understand. 2, the second thing that a suicidal person might want you to know is that some of us mask our pain by being overly happy. Some of us really hide our sadness by being funny, being a jokester, being the life of the party, being the one keep the group text lit, being the one that avoids the hard conversations. Real shit comes up, we figure out a way to say something funny and move away from it. Okay. Now, that's not something I do. That's not something I do. Something wrong with me, I just tell motherfuckers straight up. Okay. Uh, but I've experienced situations where uh, some people might try to. It's uncomfortable for them because they don't want you to know they're hurting, and you know damn well they're hurting. You know it. Something's happened that's traumatic. They've lost someone. Something bad has happened. They've had a bad experience, and common sense tells you, man, they got to be hurting. They got to be in pain. Something got to be wrong. They got to be grieving. They got to be sad. They got to be depressed. Some. And so you try to, you know, provide some comfort for them or talk to them about it, and they try to move off of it, by being a jokester, Try to use jest to move off of it and try to act like ain't nothing wrong. Like, again, really need you to understand it because some people are so shocked when they get the text or they see it on Facebook or they see it on the news that, oh, the person that was laughing all the time, they were just cool yesterday. They were just laughing with me yesterday. And then you see that they've killed themselves. I'm telling you, some of that shit is to hide pain. Because look, there is a social stigma attached with being suicidal. There's a stigma attached to it. It's for men, especially black men, it's thought that, oh, you weak to admit that you got something mentally bothering you. For people in general, there's this old saying that it's the worst sin. My mama used to say that when I was growing up. That's the worst sin you can commit. Because God will forgive you for everything if you ask for forgiveness. But if you kill yourself, you don't even get a chance to ask for forgiveness. And so it's this stigma attached to it. And that nobody, so a lot of people don't want to admit that they have these thoughts because they don't want people to look at them wrong and come at them sideways and judge them about the feelings that they have. So they try to hide them. And one of the main ways folks hide them is through acting like they're happy. Now they can mask it in some other ways too. Okay. And these other things makes them artificially happy. The drugs, the drinking, the sex. You feel me? Uh Burying themselves in their work. All these things are coping mechanisms. You know what I'm saying? And then they might tell you, oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. Oh, no, nothing get to me. But then you know they roll 3-4 blunts a day. In your mind, you should think, and you should try to get them to understand. I wonder would it get to you if you weren't medicated? Or they hitting the ball up every day. They drank a fifth every other day. They're coping. They're coping. You feel me? So don't think that just because everything seemed good, that person is not in pain. Okay? Many of us try to mask it. Number 3, third thing that a suicidal person might want you to know is that we often feel alone. We do. We could be around 1,000 motherfuckers and feel like not one of those 1,000 understands my pain. Can look around and feel like nobody gets it. Nobody gets me. Nobody understands. I'm all alone. I'm one of one. We really get to feeling like that. It's one of the main symptoms of it. You know what I'm saying? And when you feel alone, you start to feel like, what's the point of being here? Because nobody values me anyway. Nobody understands me anyway. So therefore, no one will miss me anyway. You know what I'm talking about? So one of the best things you can do for us, and I say us for real on this one, Now, the previous one, I don't do that one, but this one, this me here. I do this. One of the main things you can do to help us in this situation is to show us those examples of us not being alone. Like I mentioned with my song Only God Knows, me putting that record out and seeing all these people. I mean, that thing got over 1 million views. So many people saying similar stories. So it really told me, man, I'm not alone. Maybe I don't know anybody around me like me. Maybe I don't know anybody around me who's going through this. But this is a big planet with almost 8 billion people. Somebody somewhere is dealing with it. Think about the things I told you that had me at like really almost checked out. The chief thing was racist. Telling y'all, I'm in college. I was just finishing college. And so I'm at the University of Southern Mississippi. And I'm seeing stuff in the bathroom stall like all niggas go home. Told you about the police incident. YouTube around that time, 07. I don't know if it's still kind of in its infancy, I guess. But I would stupidly read YouTube comments back then and the heinous things people would say because they got the protection of this fucking screen and shit. Much of it racist. That shit just did something to me. Well, hell, there are other people, in this world who racism bothers them to their core. I see it. I see those people on social media. They I'm like, okay, this person feel like I feel. Or take now. I told y'all that having my son, and now I have a daughter as well, but having my children really made my thoughts of suicide dissipate. But my son has autism. But again, through my work, I have to work social media so much. I remember I connected with this lady from Britain. I put out a video of my son getting his haircut. And, we had a back and forth conversation about our kids because she really felt what I posted because she's been through the same thing. Like those examples letting me know I'm not alone with the traumatic shit that I'm dealing with. It helps. It really helps. And for somebody like me, who's wildly competitive, probably disturbingly competitive, when I see these other examples of people facing the same traumas that I face, I tell myself, if that person can face it and still be here, then goddamn it, I can be here too. You know what I'm saying? So then that comes into play. If they can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So we need those examples. We need to know that we are not alone when it comes to facing the traumas that we face. But we do feel alone quite often. Number 4, the fourth thing that a suicidal person might want you to know is to please stop using cliches to try to make us feel better. Please stop that. That does not make us feel better. Not most of us. Not most of the people I've encountered. Definitely not me. we know that you're just trying to be nice and help us. And so we know that you doing what you think is right. You're doing what you think is good by saying what you think is the right thing to say, because hell, that's what you've heard other people say in these instances. But I'm telling you, for somebody who is suicidal, who has really probably been thinking all these things out long and hard, hitting them with that same old it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Or oh, this one here. God don't put more on you than you can bear. Like, come on, man. Come on. Like, if that cliche right there, God don't put more on you than you can bear. If that cliche was true, then there would be no suicides, period. You know what I'm talking about? Like, every time somebody has ever said that to me, I think of my aunt. I have an aunt who, to my understanding, what they've told me is put a gun in her mouth and shot herself. So I think, okay, when somebody says it to me and I say, well, okay, what happened to my aunt then? They can't tell me. I have a cousin who killed himself. I said, well, what happened to my cousin? They can't tell me. You know what I'm saying? It's okay not to have the answers. It's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to not be able to explain to us why we're going through what we're going through. It's okay. We understand that you are not God. We understand that you don't have all knowledge and all understanding. We understand that. So you don't have to make up stuff that you think sounds good to try to make us feel better. Again, take my son having autism. A lady told me that everything happened for a reason. About my baby having autism. I don't want to hear that shit. That's one of the easiest things you can say. Everything happened for a reason. Now, what I did again is that competitor. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna make it a reason. And I said I'm gonna be active, active, and make my baby the face of this and try to raise awareness about autism through my baby, which I've been been doing pretty well with. But there are a lot of folks, babies, who got autism who ain't trying to do that shit. Their baby just got autism. And they trying to deal with it the best they can. Some of them dealing with it very poorly. You know what I'm saying? So in those situations when you say stuff like that, these cliches, or oh, it could have been you. Thank God it wasn't you. Somebody might say, well, shit, it wasn't me, but why was it them? You know what I'm saying? Like you in an accident, traumatic accident, you survived, your partner died. People trying to console you and say, "Oh, thank God it wasn't you." A suicidal person might be like, "Shit, I wish it was me." Cause now I gotta live with this pain and seeing my loved one die. Like, just don't do the cliches. Just don't do the cliches. Okay? It's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to not be able to explain away our trauma. So you may be wondering, well, hell, if you don't want us to try to just say it's gonna be all right and hit you with a cliche that we know throughout our life, hey, what can we do for you? Well, that's number five. Here's what you can do. The fifth thing that a suicidal person might want you to know is to just be available to us. Just be available. You don't have to lie to us. You don't have to tell us everything's going to be all right. You don't have to tell us why the trauma happened. You don't have to do any of that. Just be available to us. If we need to talk to you, we need you to answer the phone. If we text you, we need you to respond to that text. Okay? If it's a moment where we're deep down in that depression, but we finally burst out and we want to do something with you, we need you in that moment. We really do. We really do. Because in the event that we reach out to you and we don't get you, that one of those other ones I told you about, that feeling of being alone, ooh, it multiplies then. Oh God, does it multiply? Then we start to feel like this person who says they love me, look, when I reached out to them, they weren't there when I needed them. And that shit probably illogical. You might be with your woman, you might be with your man, you might be at work, you might be doing whatever. But in that moment, we ain't thinking that. We just feeling alone. So let's say one of those things is the case where you're occupied, absolutely occupied. Just at least shoot a text. I'll hit you back as soon as possible. You good. Hey, I'm gonna call you right back. You all right? All right, I'm gonna call you right back. Just something to let us know, okay, this person right here, they gonna be here for me. They just need a little time. We just want you to be available. We might just need to vent. We might not need you to say shit. We might just need to let all that motherfucking shit out. Just be available to us. Okay. So those are the five things that a suicidal person might want you to know. Again, number one, we don't want to die. We just want to stop hurting. Number two, some of us mask our pain by being overly happy. And that can show itself again in drug usage, uh, drinking, oversexing, overworking, but just acting like we happy and everything good and we joking and everything like that. That's something that many of us do. Number three, we often feel alone. We often feel alone. And one of the things you can do to help us is show us those examples of how people throughout the world, wherever, are dealing with the same kind of trauma. And so we're not alone in dealing with that pain. Four, don't use cliches when talking to us. Don't use that. We kind of look at that as a lack of effort and really trying to understand what's going on. Like you ain't even thinking about you just brushing us out with a cliche. We don't expect you to have all the answers. We expect you to be able to just explain what's going on. But number five, we do expect you to be available. If you're a friend, if you're a loved one, we expect you to be available. We want you to be available, and we need you to be available. So I'm going to leave y'all with this. My niece, Corinthia, has written and recorded a wonderful poem, a beautiful poem dedicated to uh, several of her friends who've taken their own lives. It's a beautiful poem and it's heartfelt. And it comes from my niece's soul because she too has already dealt with so much pain in her young life, and she's battled thoughts of suicide herself. And so one of the things that I told her, I said that we're going to make your pain productive. And so I challenged her to write a poem and dedicate it to your friends that you lost. And she did that. And now I'm presenting it to you.
So, Google says depression is a feeling of severe despondency and dejection. I say that it's a feeling of a bottle of collection of unhealed hurt, betrayal, and neglectance, but nobody ever notices because they judge you off your presence. A beautiful soul and face that brightens up in a room, but the sad thing is nobody knows you'll be gone soon. Because those emotions have taken over and you no longer have control. The demons have moved in now and taken over your soul. Tears fall from the faces of the ones you love the most, but not as many as the ones you've dropped before you decided to let go. Long live the ones I've lost to depression. It's time I be the voice. Losing y'all made me realize I have no other choice. Waking up daily trying to decide if I fight or I give in. In my head, I can't lose because it's a win-win. They say if I fight, that makes me strong. If I give up, that makes me weak. But if I fight, that means I stand those demons are still in me. But I think that if I give up, I'll finally be at peace. No, that's wrong. Put your head on and just listen to me. Years of depression and I still fight for my better days. I haven't given up yet because I know there's a better way. See, at my worst, I get down, I put my head up and I pray. But the thing is, on my best days, I still do the same. We tend to lose focus when things seem a little better. But unfortunately, those demons are there forever. You have to take control over your mind, but it won't happen overnight. It truly takes time. So the next time you think about giving in, think about how that one loss will look compared to all those wins. Wave depression goodbye. It's like a relationship with soul ties. You want to let go, but you can't. So before choosing yourself, you'd rather die. Just keep pushing. We got this. Give those demons a kiss. Because they made you so tough, the weaker you would have given in. You got this. Just hold on. Show the doubters that they're wrong. Remember that the world needs and loves you, so you're never alone. And for my angels that couldn't wait, I pray I'll meet you in the sky. I'm sorry you couldn't see your purpose here. But real legends never die. And as long as there's breath in my body, your name is forever alive. I hope my message reached the right person. Fuck depression and fuck suicide.
I hope you felt that poem because, like I said, it comes from my niece's soul. And I'm so proud of her for using her talent to tell her testimony. For real, for real. And if you out there and you battling depression, anxiety, any kind of mental strife, and if you're thinking about suicide, please remember, you are not alone. Don't give up. Please don't give up. I didn't give up, okay? And I ain't no better than you. Find your reason to live. Even if your reason is just yourself, find your reason. And please, please, please don't give up. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. One.
Thank you so much for watching my daddy's YouTube channel. Make sure you like, share, and turn on your post notifications. Okay, how do I do it?